very good morning and good day to Miss Honey. I am Chong Xiang and is one of the students from University Malaysia Pahang. Currently, I am pursuing bachelor degree in mechatronics at this university. As you know, we would like to interview you for the topic of our current issue, which is spreading of fake news or false information around the Malaysia. So, before we start our topic or interview, allow me to introduce our interviewee first. She is Miss Hani Safia. She is the first grad student in the University of Toronto, Canada, with undertaking courses actuarial science. So before this, she has done a research about the topic that related to the fake news. During or when our research on our topic, we have found a statistic that written by you. So we have a friend and decided to contact you for this interview. Our topic fake news is a critical issue and awareness is the latest topic happen around us. It has happened long before this epidemic until now where people continue to spread information without giving a reason whether it is true or not. It is commonly used or shared or can be found on several platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, and other. Since you have do some fake news research before, so my first question is, can you tell us how do you see the fake news in your perspective?
All right, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so fake news, as we all know, is not new to us. In fact, it has long been a hot topic since years ago. Traditionally, we got our news from trusted sources like the traditional newspaper and official media outlets, and all of that are required to follow a strict code of practice. However, now we have this thing called the internet, and the internet has enabled us um, to publish anything, and it allows us to share and consume information and news, but with very little regulation. With very little regulation, I mean that anyone can post, not just the official account, right? Even a 10-year-old can post something on Twitter and say something, and it could go viral. So I did an online survey in my research 2 years ago, and it was proven that most people nowadays um, prefer to use social media as a platform to receive their news. And well, yeah, it's effortless. You just open your telephone, your smartphone, and just scroll on Twitter. It's free, right? So, but the problem is, it's very difficult to tell whether the stories on the social media are credible or not. So, um, so yeah, and the information on the internet is overload, and also the general lack of understanding by people about how the internet works also becomes a factor as to why fake news becomes a critical issue now. So yeah.
A very interesting explanation. So like social media and internet seem like it's a common things around us. So for my second question is, if you know any or a few tips, how do you usually differentiate between false and the true information?
All right. So well, I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
So of course I have my own social media account. I have my Twitter, I have my Instagram. So I have to say I don't have that much tips, but
Yeah.
I would say whenever I come across any news on social media, I would always remind myself to check the source. Like I said, social media platform allows anyone from all age groups to publish their thoughts, right? So
Yes.
it's very significant to see where the news come from. So whenever I read anything on the internet, I would immediately see, okay, this is written by whom. Right? If it's from an official account or it's from an official site, then yeah, I would go ahead and believe the news. But if it's um, maybe from a friend who posts their opinion on Twitter, then maybe I would make an extra effort and go Google or like search on an official account on the issue to confirm whether it's true or not. In that way, I wouldn't uh, get myself to believe a fake news, and yeah, I could prevent myself from sharing it to someone else. Yeah,
Uh,
and one more, because my research on fake news was more towards the language aspect of fake news rather than the issue itself. The title was Diction in Fake News. So the research that I did draws a conclusion that diction is a challenge faced by students as it affects their point of view towards fake news on social media. So based on the research, the respondents agreed that they fell for fake news because of how good the news was written. So what I'm saying is that I would also see the language structure of the news that I read, because usually um, trusted news would have little to no grammatical error or spelling mistake.
yes.
So yeah, that's how I differentiate.
Thank you for your information, and I also agree for your suggestion on how do we differentiate the tunas of the news or information. Like just now you say nowadays, we can check the news from some of the official website account that provided by Malaysia government or the MCMC, Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, to all the social media users such as sebenarnya Mai. So
Mm.
like you point just now, in this website, maybe we can fast checking our information whether it is true or false to prevent us to spread our fake news. So I think that is a good suggestion and good information. For the third question is, based on your research before, have you discovered the best solution on stopping the spread of fake news? And can you state a few example if you have some best solution?
All right. I wouldn't say I have found the best solution because I feel like fake news has become a very critical issue nowadays. I just feel like, in my opinion, I feel like it's very impossible to stop the spread of fake news. So I believe that it all comes back to us as the social media users on how to deal with fake news. It's very hard to stop, but we can do our part, our role to not fall for it. For example, just like you said just now, we have sites like sebenarnya.my.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to make an extra effort on verifying news online. Yeah, so we can go to sites to check whether the information that we get is true or false. And then but I also feel like the authority has done their part as well. Like for example, like Google and Facebook have announced new measures to tackle fake news by introducing this thing called reporting and flagging tools. Like if it's a huge fake news, like for example, we're talking political fake news, then uh, official accounts could take down the news immediately. But that is one thing. But uh, the concern is when the fake news is not really obvious. Like, when, yeah, like there are two kinds of fake news, in my opinion. One is like, it's like completely invented, and the other is it's partially true, but it's not 100% accurate. So the one that is very hard to stop is the one that is partially true. For example, um, we're living in the era of COVID-19, right? And everyone is so scared of getting the virus. And then now there are so many ways to spread fake news. For example, it could be in your WhatsApp group chat where people are saying that, um, okay, eat a lot of garlic and then you won't get the virus.
Oh.
So yeah, that kind of fake news. Um, yeah, I mean, how could the authority try to stop, right? When anyone can post their thoughts. So yeah, I feel like the best solution is it all comes back to you. You have to make an extra effort.
Yeah, I also have seen this kind of message before. Like just now you say
Yeah.
WhatsApp, some of the user like to share some untrue news and the false information. So for example, like a few months, I also have heard about like because at that time all of the Malaysian must be vaccinated. So we
Mm-hmm.
usually can hear about some false information like maybe we use what kind of vaccination or vaccinated will causes our DNA to change and more on.
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah.
so like this kind of issue also we also can see that like government also have come out some rules like fines or jail sentence to those
Mhm.
who is
Mhm.
separate this fake news. So however the this issue is difficult to tackle because there are too much of these people. Yes.
Yes, true.
So, for my next question, since some of us have encountered a few of fake news, like maybe you and me also is one of them before. So, what do you think that the impact of the fake news brings toward to the social media user in Malaysia? Like, for example, maybe influence our emotion and others.
Mhm. All
Yes.
right. Sure. Fake news would definitely bring an impact towards social media users. Um, I think it depends on what fake news it is. For example, if it's like the thing that we said about how people are trying to find a way to prevent themselves from getting coronavirus, and then they read somewhere saying that okay, we need to eat this and we need to eat that to not get COVID-19, right?
Yes.
So what if people believe that? And maybe it would bring an impact on their personal well-being. Like if they eat something unhealthy just to prevent themselves from COVID-19, yeah. And then also if the fake news is like more towards um, politics, for example. For instance, let me give a scenario. Like it's now the election time, and
Yes.
then there exists fake news regarding this political party. Then the news would bring an impact where social media users would have a biased political view. So yeah, it depends on the fake news, but of course, all the impacts are definitely negative.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that is a good point. So for my last question is lastly, maybe this could be a model value or offer advice session. What is your message for social media user or our twin on this topic? Can you give some message about all of us?
Message. All right. Well, okay, it's a message for social media users, right?
Yeah.
Then it's a message for me too.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it is true that we have come to accept that social media as a norm in our daily life. But that does not mean that whatever is posted or whatever we come across on social media is considered true. Um, Even when it reaches a huge amount of views or it has received many likes from people. Because the thing is, now we're so obsessed with things that are viral on social media. Because, I have to admit as well, when I open my Twitter and then I see something, oh, it has a lot of retweets, right? It goes viral. So okay, I think this is true. But we all have to keep in mind that um, no matter how viral it goes or how famous that thing is, we have to recheck the news because, um, like I said, a 10-year-old write could publish their thoughts on social media. And secondly, um, a message to everyone is to use social media the correct way because um, sometimes fake news is not sometimes we could be people who are spreading fake news as well because we have lack of information about something. So we have to get ourselves to be aware of current issues so that we don't like go on social media and okay, I think this is true. So we keep on spreading. So how do we stop fake news, right? Um, yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you for your information. And there are some kind of information that we have not heard and also find about this in the internet. So that is all for me and for my group. So thank you for you to spending some time for us and giving us a few information for our listeners. So I hope that you have a good day and good luck on your study. Hope we can a chance to meet in the future. Thank you.
All right. You too. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.